Hey, what's
Going
going
on,
on,
guys?
Mike?
So Michael, Dennis, Mike is he passed the Euler test. He's studying for his Q1, but he works, if you don't mind, with I'll just say a public transportation
No, it's all good. I'm a signal
institute.
maintainer. I'm a signal maintainer for MTA Electrical.
The reason why I want to start doing this, and I'm going to start doing this every week. The guy started talking crap in the chat about maintenance not being important. He's like, nope, let everybody vent. So was because this is not this is about HVAC. This
Yeah,
thing on a better job because what we're seeing, I guarantee you, nobody thought that this year you would have multiple Legionnaire's disease outbreaks. Uh, and between the one in New York City, in Harlem, and Westchester County, you're talking like 9, 10 people already died so far. Um, and a building explosion. Like this stuff is not, it's not happenstance. This stuff is happening because of, the people who are cutting the checks are not doing the right thing because they don't acknowledge that this stuff is important.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's the same
what
with
I
the,
see is the biggest
transportation.
problem. Like, what I see the biggest problem, like in my building, is the lack of knowledgeable management.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, they hire guys that claim they have backgrounds in certain areas, and they be like, "All right, now you're in charge." But them guys don't know anything. Want to get up, walk around, check, inspect. So
Question is, how did they even get to those management spots without even entry level work? It's
There
like,
really is no entry level when it comes to a lot of building management positions.
yeah, they're
Um,
just hiring anybody with some paperwork at this point.
you got to remember, like a lot of people went to college. I guarantee most people working in building management got degrees and stuff that have nothing to do with anything with buildings because there really are no degrees for I'm sure there's something somewhere, but for the most part, you don't really find degrees for building management and things like that. So what they look for is, who do I think is going to be a responsible person, which typically comes down to who has a college degree. So somebody come, like I've had people, not recently, but years ago, they were like, we're looking for somebody to do property management that has a degree in anything.
Right.
As they always assume that those people who were in tech, and we got to break that stuff out because the people who are many times working in the field, working around the equipment, have a better understanding. And listen, anybody can, especially nowadays, if you're going to use AI, use it to write that email or something like that, because that was always the big thing. Who can write an email? Who can do a spreadsheet and stuff like that? Uh, but now we really have to have people who are making these decisions, understanding what are the consequences of not doing things the right way.
this is the charter school in Manhattan.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, cool.
Watch that, guys. Those bring the ladder. That's refrigerant pipe. You don't want to pop that.
So, is this the building maintenance class?
Well, it's part of the work study program, but we're people have no idea the stuff that we're actually working on. We're actually doing um uh uh we're gonna be doing work in dozens, if not hundreds, of different buildings. And I'm
Mm.
talking about everything, doing all the mechanical stuff, all the partly a little bit of building management. So I'm just trying to figure out the structure when the problem that we always have is when you have a lot of people who have different job schedules and things like that. How do you do it in a way where everybody is getting the maximum benefit? And then the other flip side of it is um, the the Euler thing taught me a lot. It taught me a lot because um, and mind you, a lot of our people have gotten Euler jobs. I haven't really put it out there because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But
Mm.
a lot of our people have gotten Euler jobs, but it might have been a 2-year process before they got the job. And people go into these things thinking like, oh, I'm just going to pass this test and get a job the next day. It doesn't really work like that. With anything, it's probably the refrigeration license that would allow you to get a job much quicker. But then beyond that, because if all you have is a refrigeration license, yes, we do have women working in the field, right? Yeah.
Yep.
If all we have is people getting a refrigeration license, then it's just going to be like these other schools with these people who don't know anything. And even if they do get the job, they're going to get fired quick, which is happening more and more these days. So I'm not really interested in that. So where we have the ability to give people not just the knowledge, but also real experience that they can utilize on their jobs that is going to help them. Holy cow. Oh, snap. What? What the heck? What is this? What is this? Guys, I'm gonna send you. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need these shop vac. That's not gonna work. Get up. No, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Put the spray, put that spray on it, and then we're gonna wash it down. We're gonna need a shop vac anyway because something blew apart in here and is actually covering our coil.
What's that, like insulation, pieces of insulation?
When I first took over this school, they were using a different type of box filter.
Yeah.
And the box filters were falling apart. And I think this was from those box filters. And something like this, as stupid as it may seem, something like this, something like that will end up
Giving you problems.
giving you problems. What the heck? But you have to be careful. You see how the fins are smushed up? We don't do that as well. We don't want to smush up a bunch of fins. Man, holy cow. Like, guys, when I say everything matters, check this out. This is a rooftop unit. It's a small unit. This is the condensation drain coming off the evaporator. This thing is freezing right now. It is crazy how cold this is right now for a building that is not really occupied. And the problem with that is, look here. This whole thing is filled with water. There's no drainage anywhere around here. This could be causing a massive amount of damage because this is what we call a curb cut. So the rooftop unit is sitting on top of the curb. This has to be sealed. All of that water could be leaking into the ceiling, causing damage.
Yeah, I was about to say that it's going to cause some roofing damage.
Everything matters. Everything matters. I constantly tell people, you cannot overlook anything. And this is, if I gotta do a live thing every week until people start paying attention to this, that's what I'm gonna do. But then with the boiler class, I've been thinking about how we're gonna do this boiler class because there's a couple of things going on. You have they're doing another plant tender test in the opening is gonna be May of next year, but it's usually like 3 months later. So it's probably gonna be like August when they actually give the test. So I want to prep people for that, but then I also want to prep people for the high pressure boiler test. I mean, a lot of people are bombing on that. And then with, I forgot if it's the MTA or Port Authority test, those tests are really, really hard. And not only is there a written test, but there's a practical test that I want to prep people for that. But the issue that we have, all right? Wait, you got something to say? Come over here.
Huh?
You got something to say?
Nah, like that's tough, right?
What's tough?
You there and then you right there too.
I'm live streaming. This is Tauris Tech Live.
Sorry. Somebody said they need the AC fixed. And they killed it.
So I said, I didn't see that.
Nah, I'm just playing. Oh, I'm famous now.
You're famous now.
Doing your technology.
Why you think it's called Tauris Tech? But then
so you
also,
said there was a high pressure. You said there's a plant tender test, the one that's coming in May.
so you did the Oilers test. They have the high pressure plant tender test. So people have got to start thinking strategically about their futures. And in New York City, there's a lot of jobs, high paying jobs that you can get without needing a college degree in the building trade, like the refrigeration license. But then on the boiler side, you have like the low pressure boiler test at a low pressure fuel oil burner test at the fire department, but that's minor. For the high pay jobs, there's a couple of ways that you can get in. Number one is taking the oilers test. Number two is taking the plant tenders test. What that allows you to do is to work for 5 years under the supervision of a stationary engineer. Then you can get your high pressure boilers license. If you have your high pressure boiler license and your refrigeration license, then you
Little
can take
ticket.
the test for the little ticket.
Mhm.
Then you can take the test for a stationary engineer. And those guys right now, the last contract I know was 72. It might be up to 75 or something dollars an hour, or will be with the next the next
Right, because I got a stationary engineer at my job, both my building and on Rikers, and Rikers he's doing 80 something.
Woo! Yeah, 80 something an
Yeah.
hour. These guys making $200,000-$300,000 a year.
And
Easy.
5 years from now, when you actually qualify and pass, hopefully that contract will be light years past
All
what it
right.
is now.
I have students who got the refrigeration license in New York and moved out to California where they're making $100 an hour.
So
Like
hold
it's
on. So that refrigeration, the QO1, we could take that nationwide.
a couple of years ago. So I mentioned, I don't want to get people in trouble. So we had people who got the Oilers job. A couple of years ago, I would post, your team Tauris Tech and have guys like take pictures, say, I got a job doing XYZ. And I had students all over the country, Florida, Texas, California, all over the place. Who, Colorado, New Jersey. Is what? You camera shy today?
Huh?
You camera shy today?
Who's that?
No, we're live. We're live.
How many people watched?
I don't know. So I stopped doing it because one of my guys got a job at a hospital and he was like, they threatened to fire him because he wasn't doing anything crazy. He was just standing there. A lot of people don't know this, but there are organizations, I'll just put it like that, that don't love Tauris Tech because we're kind of the we have allowed people to bypass a lot of the traditional ways that people use to help people get jobs. So, when
Why
you
did they try
have,
to fire him, the dude at the hospital?
huh?
Why did they try to fire the guy at the hospital?
So you see how I'm like standing here next to a piece of equipment? They were like, well, and he's not the only one. There have been chief engineers, station, all types of stuff. When people have power, and they're used to being in control of certain things, then when somebody threatens that power, they try to, if they can't get to them, like, what can anybody do to me? But if people are associated with me, then they try to go after them. So I stopped doing, posting a lot of my students and their success. So if you notice, I post a lot every time somebody passed a test. Okay, congratulations, this person. The reason why I do that is I have thousands of students. I have thousands of students who run all types of buildings. And I'm not gonna say I can guarantee anybody a job, but I can get somebody to the door of getting a job. So when people see, oh, this person is Tauris Tech, they have their credentials. Okay, then maybe we can reach out. Also, when I worked at these other schools, I would run into people in the field and they would be like, they never either got their license or they never got a job using their license. And I would be like, what people don't understand is when you have any of these licenses, if you don't get a job for a while, then people start to think, why is nobody else hiring you? And it becomes it would become a bit of a black eye. It would be better for somebody who just got their refrigerator, easier for somebody who just got the license to get the job than somebody who had it for over a year and never got a job. So I try to encourage people to not give up because I had a lot of people where, especially at these other schools, because there's no Dennis will tell you at some of these other schools, like you're on your own. If you don't have a study buddy in that class, a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
time there's nobody in that organization that is going to help you in any way. So,
My teacher used to come to class to sleep, just play a PowerPoint.
so
That's crazy.
I'm trying to create like a bit of a community here, where it's worked out pretty well. Where we have a network. And again, I don't do what these other schools do and say, oh, you're gonna leave here and get a job. But I believe that you know people in our network I know have been very successful in getting jobs where, and I'm talking with little experience, no experience, because it's more of a mindset thing. People want to know that, you're committed to learning and committed to hard work, and that's what Tauris Tech stands for.
Definitely.
So with the boiler thing, so yes, our students, the what people don't understand is that there are very few states that have the equivalent of the refrigeration license. So you have the New York City refrigeration license. Most states will have some type of boiler certification, but they won't have a refrigeration license. And the reason why it's a very big thing now is obviously not only do you have chillers, but you also have heat pumps. And heat pumps are basically being installed everywhere. So there's a greater need for understanding the refrigeration process. But then also I always tell people, we don't do HVAC, we do building engineering. We're training people to understand everything in the buildings, whether it's cooling tower, the pumps, the facade, the roof, everything. Uh, and that translates very well when somebody is going into another state and nobody locally has those credentials. Years ago, I asked one of my guys who was working in Los Angeles, did that license help him get the job out there? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So the refrigeration license definitely travels. But then there are states like New York, New Jersey, pardon me, where they will have their own version of the refrigeration license, and they won't just like convert it, but what they'll do is they will use it as a qualification to allow you to sit for their version of the test. So I think New Jersey, I always confuse it because they got blue seal, black seal, and red seal. I think the blue seal is the refrigeration. So and this is big because a lot of people work for Port Authority, where it could be the New Jersey side or the New York side. So you may need to have the New York license one day, and then you transfer, and then you need to have the New Jersey license. So that's where having the ability to have that credential, where now you don't have to qualify all over again for the New Jersey license, is important.
Okay.
But the high pressure boiler test, 'cause I heard a lot of people bombed it recently. So we got to put together something special for that. And then it was very funny. So, and this is what I mean about people having to have a plan in mind. In order to qualify for the high pressure boiler test, you have to have 5 years of experience underneath the supervision of a stationary engineer, dual ticket holder. Number one, there are not that many facilities that have that. The reason why they don't have that is because most buildings in New York don't make their own high pressure steam. If you work in Manhattan up to around the Harlem area, there's a steam infrastructure that goes underground that can provide steam to a lot of buildings. So a lot of hospitals, a lot of colleges in the Manhattan area, and sometimes some outer boroughs will use Con Edison high pressure steam if they need it. Once you get out into the outer boroughs, the Brooklyn College area, the Bronx, Queens, and stuff like that, then you have a lot more colleges and hospitals that have high pressure steam plants there. So, and then as crazy as it might sound, you have a lot of non-governmental buildings like I've heard of bakeries that had high pressure steam equipment. I've heard of definitely power plants, but then also like dry cleaners. So you never really know. The way that a lot of people get caught up is even after you have the 5 years, you have to be able to demonstrate your 5 years. You have to have like tax records, but then the people who you worked under have to sign off on your 5 years. So the stationary engineer, and then the equipment that was in use in that particular facility, there has to be a use permit. There's all this stuff, and there's this whole investigation that has to take place. So I've had people who had the 5 years. Dude, I did, when we did the Oilers class, this union for high pressure plant tenders sent us like 40 people. And you would have people who be plant tenders for like 20, 30 years. It's like, guys, like, what are you doing? Like, God, time is ticking. So there have been people who I know about who had the time, but they couldn't get the credentials signed off on, and then they would have to work another year or whatever it is to be able to qualify to take the high pressure boiler test. The second thing is this was crazy. Earlier this year, they postponed the practical test for the high pressure boiler because they said it was too hot inside the boiler room, which is crazy. So that's what I mean. If you're not always thinking about how things beyond your control can affect your career, then you can get caught in one of those cycles where you had a plan and then everything just gets thrown off course. Especially when you're in an environment where you're working around people who are not super motivated. Like everybody on the Tauris Tech team, I try to keep guys super motivated. If somebody else is doing something right, there's an opportunity for you to, do the right thing. But then there's also a lot of politics, I'm not gonna lie, and a lot of these facilities where sometimes if you make other people look bad, it then works against you. It's crazy, even if you're trying to do the right thing.
Understandable. Politics, as they call it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to do this is we're having a whole lot of issues right now in buildings. The Legionnaire's disease thing. Legionnaire's disease thing is crazy because practically any building that has a cooling tower can have Legionnaire's disease in it. Because people don't realize that they don't the way in which the city views the how big a Legionnaire's disease outbreak is not if you have Legionnaires, because you can have a little bit of Legionnaires. It's based on the number of colonies that you have inside of your samples. So I forgot what the I gotta do some I gotta remember what the cutoff rate is. So you have a little dip slide, and then if it has a couple of spores, it's not a big deal. But if it has like a certain ratio, then it becomes
Yeah, like 1,000, 10,000, 100,000.
yeah. So the practically every cooling tower in this city probably has Legionnaires inside of it. Yeah.
The 1224 by 2 or by 4 goes right.
What did you take out? You didn't take you took out the filters. You don't know what you took out. You can't take. No, they're not the same size, man. Figure it out. Nothing beats experience, guys. So there's a massive number. Uh-oh. There's a massive number of illegal cooling towers in New York City, and a lot of people don't know that. And by illegal cooling tower, I think it was 2015, there was a Legionnaire's disease outbreak, and a couple of people died. So they created this registration system in which everybody.
All the condensate. Why this will have so much?
Why? Because it's frosted. I guarantee you.
The condensation line.
Oh, whoa!
It was never maintained.
Oh, no, was we? Holy freaking cow!
That's why.
So, guys, remember I told you everything is important?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look here, right? I have condensation on my coil, which this is a condensate drain. I'm going to have condensate coming out, but I shouldn't have condensation. Yeah.
You know your coil is dirty.
Yeah.
Hell.
Everything matters. So the sweat on the condensation coil is telling me that this is below 32 degrees because it's condensating.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling me that because we have filters, we changed the filters. 6, they're not that bad, but the coil is 100% restricted.
Oh, okay, got it.
Got it. Come here. Oops. What do we have here?
I got it.
No, take this off. You're gonna see it from this side. And I know we cleaned this thing
I'm
before.
gonna shut it off. I'm gonna take it apart.
Well, no, come here. Remember I told you they're all. Remember I told you they're all broken. They're all broken.
I know. I'm looking.
They're all broken.
I'm looking for this.
No, it's broken. No, I'm telling you, it's broken. You can't. It's broken. Guys, the beer was my was on my work study team for 2 years. He will never listen to me. He has to see for himself. But that's how you get things done.
Hands on.
Well, not just hands-on, right? We all have our opinions, which is fine. But what are your opinions based on? If you've never seen anything, if you've never done anything, it's kind of hard to have some type of educated guess.
Yeah, where you could gauge it from. You have no reference.
And the whole reason why we're going to do a Tauris Tech Live every week is because the people who are in charge are not listening. They refuse to listen to the people who work with the stuff every single day, and they're making a cost calculation which says that it is more important to take care of the lobby than it is to take care of the stuff on the roof. I've had contracts with facilities where the amount of money that they spent on taking out garbage was 3 times the amount of money they spent annually on maintaining the HVAC. And I'm talking about relatively large capacity equipment. Because if they can't see it and they can't understand it, they don't care. Huh? No, the fresh air.
Yeah, but take a look.
Okay. Got to get it out.
Rule number in HVAC: don't trust nobody.
Don't trust nobody.
Somebody said like you have to do it by yourself.
Take these things out. No, you don't do it. You teach. No, stop. Somebody take these screws out. Huh? What's dirty?
No. Maybe I'm not gonna see you again. Oil. But get the working. That's the oil. Oil is dirty. You might get the dirty. You might fall. I show you my scars. Oil is that right there too, right? So when
There's different coils. What coil is that?
Fresh air coil. That's the.
There's no fresh air coil. That's fresh air. That's a screen right there.
That's the condenser coil, right?
That's the condenser coil.
Oil.
What other coil could there be?
Evaporator.
Could be the evaporator coil. It all depends. It all depends on. So look here. How do I know that that's the evaporator coil and this is a different coil? What tells me that's a different coil? What tells me that? Oh, yep, the fans. What about the fans? It's going up, which means what?
Supply, right?
Not supply.
Return.
Not return. I mean, technically it's return, but
It's going out.
so okay. This is my condenser fan, which is bringing air across my condenser coil. So this is
here.
air comes through here to cool off the refrigerant, and you feel it, it's hot because it was just running, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then over here, what coil is inside? What coil is inside?
Condenser coil.
Evaporator.
The evaporator coil. So the condenser coil is exchanging heat with what? No, the condenser coil is exchanging heat with what? The
refrigerant.
outside air. The evaporator coil is exchanging heat with the
Inside
air. Guys, all you guys got your EPA. You're all supposed to be studying the Q01. You have to practice this every day. I don't bring people to do this stuff so that you can, learn the joys of changing filters. I got guys online right now who work with this stuff every day. You are able to get a master's degree in something that will allow you. Woo, look at that. Woo, woo. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. And mind you, we clean this stuff. So whenever we did that, get that screw right there, before we got a screw right there. Get that screw out, please.
wants to grab the washer from the second floor. There is the one on the second floor.
Oh, we got a pressure washer.
Did we just do it yesterday?
Yeah, no, it's inside the thing. People take this knowledge for granted. People think this stuff is dirty and it's below them and oh, they got to call. I don't care about any of that stuff. This stuff runs the world. I love you.
I came today with one big two problems for this building itself.
This building got a lot more problems than you know, buddy. Trust me. You know, we saw downstairs, right? All the air is going through in the ceiling because they didn't seal the ducts when they installed this stuff.
But this is a big.
There you go. See that cat here? And it's interesting. It's interesting because it's like pockets. So it's not.
So
Take this one off.
I need a favor from you.
The supply fan is going to be on that side.
You're
Yeah.
going to be spraying this one.
Of course.
Possibly, you know where the fuse box is to shut it off. Damn. Please.
Come on.
Safety first.
Of course. Guys, come on. Guys, come on.
Before we do this, it's not only shut it off from there. But as soon as we start spraying the energize, we can breathe this first.
Come on, guys.
So we have to get the main fuse that is powering that unit.
There you go. It's your outdoor air.
Yeah, he's fixing this one.
This is why language is important, guys. He's asking us to turn off a particular unit. Somebody has to be able to come in here, turn off. So somebody, I'm not going to give it away. You got to go out there. You got to identify that unit. It's an RTU, rooftop unit. You got to come back here. You got to switch off the power for here.
On some buildings, this is important.
Every building.
Before you do that, you have to call the central station. You have to put the building offline, because if you just start messing with the buttons, this and that, you can get a P1 ticket. You can get a fire department in front of the door. You can have a bunch of stuff because they don't know why that is off and it's supposed to be on.
Gotcha.
Some buildings you have to call.
So,
Yeah.
oh, yes.
No, this one you just call Tauris.
Oh, that's the furnace.
That's a heat exchanger.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's for the furnace.
So, heat exchanger on a furnace.
So guys, remember what I was showing you, right? Everywhere you have your fresh air. So your fresh air comes this side. So our flow is going here. And then we have our furnace there before it goes down into the building. What issue? We had an issue on this unit with the heating. I know we fixed it,
So
but
for that explosion, for example, on bunch of those units,
Yeah.
like you can have the broken pipe
yeah.
and a heat exchanger is just leaking
So you can guess, yeah.
gas inside.
Yeah. So we're kind of on shoulder season right now, where like at nighttime, the BMS could turn this thing on.
On a PM, preventive maintenance, before you turn this unit on, every year you have to check heat exchanger, pilot, gas valve, all those things.
You can't just tell them what you got to show show what you're talking about. Other side, other side.
This is the vacuum switch. So the board knows that the fan and airflow, it's running by the vacuum, because from here he pulls the vacuum. He activates the small switch, micro switch. You have a membrane inside, pulls it down. You make the contact on those two. And a lot of time when you run the unit, you can check the. This is also one of the safeties. Is a jump.
That's what they did in the Bronx. They jumped out some safeties.
So here we have to open all this to
Okay.
get inside. So inside, by the burner, you have the smoke detector, you have the flame detector. So if you don't have enough flow, the flame is going to be coming back. And to strip that sensor, and he disconnect, and the board's supposed to shut off the gas valve inside.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Today you guys have a nice class.
Yeah, I know. Very informative.
We're stuck. We're stuck. We're live right now.
Got a power wash.
You guys have a brush?
I don't know. We got a brush, Brian?
I don't know either.
I gave you down the tools. You do like a tourist. I didn't.
Here, get a wet back.
They got a lot of. They got normal.
Huh?
Like a lot of installation.
Can do it. Who wants to do it?
What? We didn't need to brush it?
Yeah, because all this is gonna get stuck on the
Just
film.
pull the insulation out, please.
All this needs to be low down.
So we was gonna power wash it.
No.
You can't power wash it because it's gonna put water on the electronics on the other side.
You see how it? Try doing like this. Just keep going.
What about the one in the middle? What about where you can't reach?
So guys, why is there so much dust on that side and not on the other side of that coil? What does that tell you? Why is there so much dust there instead of on the other side of the coil?
Not enough airflow. Look at
Well, no, there is airflow, but why is the dust on that side and not on the other side?
Look at those two.
What do you guys think?
So if you have one clogged and unopened,
Fresh air.
he's gonna be pulling.
What's on the other side of that
He's
coil?
gonna be pulling on the other side.
Yes, the furnace. What else? What's on the other side?
The
That's
other side is the fan.
pulling that is the fan. So this is when you have to clean things, the fan is pulling the air from the outside, which is getting stuck right there.
Why it's important also to use quality filters? Because all the time when it's raining here, you have a bunch of humidity.
Yeah.
So parts of the filter
Get stuck.
goes on the coil too.
That's what we got over there. A bunch of stuff stuck to the coil. We probably gotta get tweezers to take it off.
Oh wow.
So this guy right here with the white shirt, is he like for the building manager?
No, this is one of our team.
Oh, okay. He's on your team.
He's a volunteer today.
So in there,
But check. Also, guys, you can check like here you have a TXV. Come this way. This is important to know. So on the TV, you see different temperature. Those people, both of them, they supposed to be the same. Right or wrong? By hand. You see which one is cold. Which one's cold? Yeah. Sometimes they can, by that, touching that pipe, it can tell you the condition of the compressor.
about this.
Yeah, no, underneath. You call those how? Capillary tubes.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Copper lines.
Capillary tubes. So that's a measuring device. That's the device that says,
Got to
okay,
study. So somebody got to study. Somebody's got to study. You got to know your terms.
capillary tubes.
You're right.
TXV
Yeah.
determines.
No,
How much-
I didn't say you were wrong. I didn't say you were wrong. I didn't say you
No,
got
he's
to be more
saying they
fluid.
gotta study.
You got to be more fluid.
No speaking.
Don't speak your line. Hey, you're in management now. You gotta write a report.
Believe me, no speaking, and I get away with a lot of this. The more you know, they put the more load.
The more, yeah, the
No,
more,
no
more
speaking
responsibility.
English,
You guys just did an EPA test. You tell him what that is. You guys realize this guy can give you a job? How many buildings you run?
No, I pulled some of your guys from
I know.
university and stuff.
How many buildings do you run right now?
I ran the whole Bronx.
There you go.
911 buildings.
There you go. You got to make an impression, guys.
And
What are we looking at?
One of the few, like before the jobs on a bit, I estimate, do they need that or not?
Yeah.
For the big bosses,
I get it.
sometimes with the AI, I write the report. So they go to the
Yeah.
big bosses.
I love it. Don't worry about it, guys. Let's clean it up for now, and then But guys, this is what I bring you guys here so you can get exposure. People think
Is
people
it smooth or it's the way it's supposed to be? Smooth. It's done. Professor, how much sway you need to have on the belt?
Listen again. I'm the videographer today. You teach. Well, one thing's worked first. Let's clean that coil off, and then we can get to this. Did you finish that unit? Huh? Okay.
Bring that liquid for the coil.
Who messed up? The person before us messed up?
No, we service these units.
Oh, so what do you mean they like?
They're dirty.
Because I heard you say never trust somebody's gate.
No. So you never trust that somebody did what they were supposed to do.
Oh.
So you need to be able to come in here and double check to see if it were done properly or not. I'm telling you, we clean this stuff. The problem is, it's literally sucking dirt up off the floor. It's going to constantly get dirty. This is literally why maintenance is important. Don't point at it. Take the brush and brush it off. The brush brush it right there. Take that brush and brush it off. Huh? Brian, get the pressure washer, please. Or just bring the hose. Well, no, bring the pressure washer because it doesn't shut off.
And we've got on the other line. He wants to take the exam. He's interested in do what we do for what?
Oh no, these are team members.
Huh?
These are team members. Actually, one of our guys, he works for a hospital. We're going to be doing a boiler class for the high pressure boiler test. So see, you got to foam that up right there to break up all the schmutz in between the fins.
These places look like they're hard to get to.
This is one of the problems. Actually, sometimes you can take this stuff apart a little bit more, but when they manufacture it, they don't really take into account the repair side of it.
The maintenance side of it, at least.
Yeah. Everybody who runs a building should be required to come and do stuff like this at least once.
Once a month.
And I do this every day. Today was my day.
Not you.
What needs to be done?
No, it's getting done.
And what kind of
And we saw this.
Hey,
what kind of foaming agent is that he's using?
mini split evaporator coil cleaner.
Okay.
You got to be careful sometimes because sometimes people don't know if they're using evaporator cleaner or condenser cleaner. Usually the condenser cleaner is a little more caustic, a little more acidic. Huh?
But we're gonna wash it fast. We're not gonna leave it to sit for days.
With this one, I think this is leave on, but you can wash it. And then also you have to be careful because a lot of the newer units, like if you look at this unit right here, the condenser coil is actually aluminum. It's not copper. So you can't use a very, very caustic cleaner on the aluminum coils. It will literally dissolve it.
You put a
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Tauris?
What's up, buddy?
Man, I ain't much working.
Yeah, man. Getting ready for that practical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you actually back on the school?
Yeah. Yeah. No, so yesterday, remember I told you I wanted to get the condenser coil sprayed down because a lot of times people change the filters first, then spray the coils, and it'll get all the filters wet. And that's why the filters sometimes will absorb even more dirt, and they won't last as long because you're basically creating a wet cloth that's just
Yeah.
gonna.
Well, that's good. At least me and Ryan fixed the pump.
Yeah, man.
We resolved one of the issues.
Yeah. There's always going to be issues. That's what people don't understand. This is not something you can just leave. Uh,
Yeah.
um, kind of. Well, you seen Kevin. I'm not dropping any names, but like we're dealing with organizations where because they haven't done maintenance for so long, it's created a huge mountain of work that needs to be done. It's better to do a little bit at a time, a little bit over time, instead of waiting until things break down and then you have these massive repair bills.
Yeah, of course. That's how it is. Well, I guess company management, they think a little different. Or
Yeah, but when you have Legionnaire's disease killing people and boilers exploding, you can't do that anymore.
yeah. That's definitely so. Well, hopefully it didn't get better now.
No,
Fortunately, something bad gotta happen for stuff to get better. You always get worse, then you get better.
that one's going to be higher pressure.
Huh?
That's higher pressure.
Yeah, so hopefully now they pay more precaution. They start making preparation to at least
Well,
inspect the
no,
roof.
they're not. Dennis, one of our guys on here, he works in the hospital. Dennis, tell him about all the crazy stuff you're seeing.
Oh man, stuff go up every day.
They
Ah,
got they
man.
got temporary boilers and temporary chillers at his building.
I,
Oh,
I got
jeez.
I got two temporary chillers and a temporary boiler in the street. I turned the street into a machine room.
Want to record this?
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh my God.
They don't want nobody touching nothing until things break down.
It's not even going through. It's not going through.
So now where is this water going to be released to or drained out to?
No, it's going down here.
Yeah, right there.
So you see that? It's not even going through to the other side. It didn't make a dent.
Hold on.
There you go.
It's definitely bad.
Hey Taurus, how long for this class did you start it?
No, this isn't a class. It's just, you know what happened? Let's move these, please. Guys, let all the dirty filters, get the dirty filters inside of some boxes so we can get them out of here.
I get what you're saying. This is
Somebody,
just like a team, your team basically.
well, no, this is gonna be,
Where's the towers for the
huh?
for the intake?
The cup over here, right there.
Right there, bro.
Um, there's there's way too many instances that I know about that are very similar to what happens with the cooling tower and with the boiler explosion. One of the buildings, one of the organizations I work with, they literally had a boiler explosion last week before the big boiler explosion in the Bronx. And I'm not gonna just sit back and allow this stuff to happen without trying to educate people about it. So this is just a way, anybody, whether they're on our team or not, just to talk about this stuff so we can get some attention of not just the higher ups in the individual buildings, but then also with the city. Because this is the crazy thing. New York City has the most rigid cooling tower requirements of any locality in this country. How are we having Legionnaire's disease outbreaks in 12 different buildings killing people? It's because people are not following the rules and the people who are supposed to are not enforcing the rules. So if I got to get out here and talk smack about this and give other people the opportunity to talk, without getting themselves in trouble, that's what I'm going to do.
My building just got hit with cooling towers.
Huh?
So my building just got hit for 2 cooling towers.
Yeah, there you go. And what people don't realize is that with all the data centers, listen, the data centers are going to have chillers. So they're all going to have cooling towers.
Okay.
Chillers and cooling towers are really designed for a big building. That's why, if you notice, the buildings that had the Legionnaire's disease outbreaks are like hospitals because they're running that equipment 24/7. So all of these data centers that are going online, guess what they're going to have? They're going to have a whole lot more cooling towers. And if those facilities are not maintained properly, then it's just going to be a lot more people, whose lives are being placed in jeopardy. And I'm not going to allow that. I know way too much. I'm not going to embarrass anybody, get anybody in trouble, but I know way too much about how this stuff needs to be run and what we could be doing. We could be doing things like this, having programs where we're taking people, young people, old people, whatever, people new to the field, even experienced people, taking them out into the field, allowing them to understand if one day you happen to be in a position where you're running a building, candy camera, you want to know, what is the right and the wrong thing. That is the problem. The people sitting behind the desk don't know what is the right and the wrong thing to do. And then when I guarantee you, whoever worked in that building, they informed their higher ups of what the problems were. And there are email chains and there are all types of information where the people who are in the office, all they see is a word on a page. They don't understand, what a purge damper or combustion air fan. They don't understand the ratio of carbon dioxide. And they don't understand any of this stuff. They don't know. So they're just looking at it like numbers on a page. And they're going to say, oh, well, we have this number of apartments and we got to change this many toilets and refrigerators and stuff like that. And they're going to prioritize that instead of prioritizing something that can literally blow up the entire building. And it's not just the boilers. Literally, we're doing an A2O class. I have companies, hospitals, schools sending me hundreds of people to do the A2O class. The A2O thing is literally the same like the boilers. Except now, instead of natural gas at like 1-inch water column, you're talking about a flammable substance at 500 psi. So we've got to get people to start taking this stuff more seriously. I'm talking about decision makers. The decision makers, the politicians, they need to start taking this stuff more seriously, especially, and I'm not going to get into politics, but listen, a lot of jobs are going away and it's going to get much, much worse. We could be employing thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people across this country just maintaining the 111 million buildings we have in this country. I was listening to something earlier today, and it was saying that the mayor, the current mayor, is he signed something that is going to create 80,000 affordable housing units over the next 10 years in New York. There are at least 400,000 empty apartments in New York that the landlords will never fix because if they got to spend $100,000 to fix an apartment that they can rent for $1,000 a month, they're not going to do it. So, like, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy, guys. I know bad things that are taking place in the city. Very, very bad things that I try not to hurt people. So I have to be creative in how I get the word out about it. And that's what this is going to be. And if anybody wants to come on here, when we're doing this. So the reason why we're doing it at 11 o'clock, because I know a lot of people want to watch football at 1. And some people probably got to go to church. So, but every week I'm going to try to get on here and whatever information people want to pass my way so I can get out here to let people know. not just what's wrong, but how we can get better. Let's find a way where we can be better.
Yeah.
But that starts with getting the decision makers to pay attention. We have got to get the decision makers to pay attention. Wait a minute, why are you doing it? Shut it down. They're supposed to be doing it. See, this is the thing with Amir. I tell Amir, you got to teach people. He enjoys it too much himself. Still with the light. Everybody made a business decision. Everybody made a business decision with the man who can literally give them all jobs right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about that.
I'm gonna get on schedule with you guys to get over there.
Why is he doing
to
that?
that building.
Why is he doing that? Why are you doing that?
Tauris,
Yeah.
you have the union?
What? No, non-union. Non-union. What lunch break? This is supposed to work from 9 to 3. Lunch break. It's crazy. There you go. There you go.
So most of the work for this building is on the weekends, correct?
No, that's actually not true. I have to do. So people don't understand this. I run buildings. This is one of the buildings that I run. I just happen to
100%.
run the HVAC for this building. So,
Well, this building is like of 3, right? I believe you said it was a charter school.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show you guys something here. Bu- 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 bu.
The reason I said on the weekends, I guess, because most of the people are not there and school's not like.
No, it all depends. It all depends. So you look here, right? This is a BMS for this particular building. A lot of people have never even seen a BMS, much less know how to work a BMS. What this is telling me is that there are problems in different areas because you can see temperature variations in different areas. So we have to. So this is something a lot of people won't know about, but it's called VAV boxes. Is my service working? So this building has a bunch of VAV boxes that some of them aren't working. And we got to change all these things out. So when I say they're not working, if you look here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This says that this VAV2, because it's a damper, is supposed to be getting 600 CFMs. It's getting 33 CFMs. Now, is that because the damper isn't open, or is it because the unit is off while we're working up here? There's a lot of people who run buildings where they wouldn't understand anything that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like this: air balancing, temperature, the temperatures, pressures, humidity, like all this stuff we deal with on a daily basis. Where for a lot of people who sit behind the desk, the only thing they care about is, am I hot or cold? And they don't understand how all of this stuff is supposed to work. And the reason why it's a very, very, very big problem. All of this stuff is related to money. When I talk about anything in general, I talk about money because money is how the world goes around. If you're talking to your superiors, anybody in the decision-making position about why they should do something, you can't just say, well, I think it needs to be done. It always has to go back to money.
Yeah, you got to show them the efficiency ratings and how much it's going to cost them, cost effectiveness.
Not even, well, the efficiency is one thing, but then there's also, there's something, I got to remember this thing. It's called means something to repair. Means date. It's something where there's a calculation that says how long should you have between periods of repair for any piece of equipment.
Okay.
And the thing that affects that more than anything else is how much do you maintain it. If you never maintain a piece of equipment, then it's going to have a shorter, frequency of repair. And that repair is going to cost. And a lot of times, so with the transportation, it's probably a little different because there's not a lot of people who have specific skill sets. Like I don't know of a service company that can come in and change a broken, subway rail. So I'm pretty sure a lot of that stuff is in house. But when it comes to buildings, it's the exact opposite, where they will outsource everything and they'll have service companies for like every little thing instead of training the people who work there to do a lot of the repairs. And a big thing that's happening right now that people don't know about is a lot of those companies are going out of business.
Those third-party companies, the third-party service repair companies.
Yeah, a lot of contractors are going out of business. The insurance requirements have skyrocketed over the last, ever since the pandemic. Beyond that, a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of insurance companies are, especially for boilers, are not insuring boilers anymore. Trying to think. I think State Farm is still here, but I think Travelers. I think Travelers left New York. A lot of insurance companies were leaving New York. So that happened. You have congestion pricing. You have labor shortages because of the tariffs. Now you have material shortages. We don't even make screws in this country. Like every screw that you buy is not made in the United States. It is imported from someplace else. And because it's metal, now it has a 50% tariff on it. The wood, the sheetrock, like everything comes from someplace else. All HVAC, all mechanical equipment is made out of metal. So, if it wasn't already here, now the prices have skyrocketed. And what has happened, because a lot of agencies lost a lot of money, a lot of schools, a lot of like think about this. You work for a hospital, right? Where does the hospital get a lot of its money from? Unless they're serving a bunch of rich people, aren't they getting a lot of money from Medicaid, Medicare, different things like that? Well, a lot of that money is being cut. A lot of colleges are losing their funding, so now everybody's pulling back. Tauris Tech was supposed to do over $1 million in business with a nonprofit starting July 1st, because that was the beginning of the fiscal year for most nonprofits. All of it got canceled. I talked to friends of mine, $2 million jobs, $4 million jobs. They all got canceled. So a lot of contractors are struggling just to stay in business. I have a school. So if I have no, HVAC work, I'm always going to be okay. But the average contractor is not going to be in that position. So a lot of these places, and then here's the biggest thing: it's very hard to get paid by a lot of these big organizations. Whether it's hospitals, schools, government agencies are worse. I know people where they're waiting years to get paid for certain jobs, and it's creating so much strain on the industry now that when these emergencies happen, you're not going to have people who can just come and resolve it very quickly. And we need to get, decision makers to understand this, start taking the stuff more seriously, start training their staff better, even if they don't train them to do the repairs themselves, train them to recognize the problems before they become catastrophic, like the one that took place in the Bronx.
Was there any casualties from this explosion in the Bronx?
Thank goodness, no. Which is very surprising because, and mind you, I have guys who have been in that building. I got a lot of students who work at NYCHA. So I have, associates. I have a friend of mine. So I think it was like 2019. NYCHA put out the contracts literally to maintain their boilers, and National Grid had half of the facilities, and then there was an organization called GS Hall that had the other half. A friend of mine was working for GS Hall. He was like a supervisor. There were 4 boiler explosions in like a 6-month period, and he quit because he didn't want to be associated with it. But and
That's crazy.
that was 2019. When did you ever see any conversation anywhere about that stuff? because nobody will ever talk about it, and it just keeps going on and on and on. So, you know, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, but it's just going to keep happening as long as we let it keep happening. It's but because the only reason there wasn't a problem that nobody got killed was because it was on the side of the building, and it was a chimney that when the explosion happened, it blew out the base, and then the chimney that was installed on the side of the building just fell off. But anybody could have been walking in the parking lot, could have been working in that area. It's amazing that nobody was killed.
Yeah.
And now think about this, right? If there's 100 apartments inside that building, they're all plugging up electric heaters right now. You might have an electrical fire there.
Yeah.
Is that an EXP?
Huh?
That's an EXP.
No, it's not an EXP. That is So these units have a hot gas bypass. So this is a valve for hot gas bypass on it.
But first one.
Mhm.
No, this has a TV. The TV is wherever you see the evaporator coil at, that's where the TV is going to be.
That's EXP.
No, that's EV. It's an EV, electronic dispenser valve. TEV. Solenoid, TEV, distributor, capillaries, evaporator coil, suction header, insulated suction header, high pressure liquid line. We actually have a bypass right there. There's a little oh. Let's see here. So it's insulated, so it's low pressure. This is in the suction. Is this hot? Is that liquid injection? I gotta look at the schematic for this thing. Oh yeah. That's the good thing about this business. You never stop learning. Oh yeah.
I just get the tool for adjusting those.
For what? What kind of tool? I know you love the tools.
Yeah.
Did your tool budget go up?
Oh.
No. Still eBay?
The best.
Electronic expansion valve debugging mag. It's a solenoid. It's a magnet to blow the thing out.
No, it's not. This one is like a 4-pull.
Yeah.
So when you're spinning it,
Yeah.
it opens and closes.
Okay.
A lot of time,
Mm.
those motors you can replace.
It has stages because it click.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go bad.
Yeah, of course. Everything goes bad.
And for those solenoids, like for this one,
Yeah.
a lot of time they get stuck.
Yeah.
One is just open. Which one did you open?
Look for the condensate drain.
Those solenoids.
Mhm.
For those, you
Yeah.
can use 2-pole magnet.
Yeah.
Check them if they're open or closed.
Yep.
Mm.
You know a mistake a lot of guys make? Let's say if they want to repair it, right? If you take that out and you don't put it back, it'll burn it back. It'll burn out. If you turn the power on it, it'll burn out.
He goes like right away on a hi-hat.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a flow.
Yeah.
Mousse is good for this.
Yeah.
Or a lot of time, what they do the mistake when they say it's low on refrigerant.
Yeah.
They put it on the wrong side and they push the needle back and get stuck.
Yeah, so Dennis, you said you got guys that want to do the boiler thing, right?
I got like 5 guys that want to do it,
Okay.
including myself.
I love it. Here's the thing though. There might be certain parts of the class that they'll need a VR headset for.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'll tell them.
So I have information. I got inside information that I can't allow anybody to take pictures of.
Yeah, I have nothing. No, I'll tell them.
Not the whole thing. but the really juicy stuff. Yeah. No, for the high pressure boiler test.
And I have more.
You have more?
Hey, question. Dennis, if you don't mind me asking, what
Yeah.
what position are you at right now in the hospitals?
Right now in the hospital, I'm the HVAC plant guy. So I deal with everything with the chillers. I deal with all the RTUs. I deal with all the fan coils. And then every so often, I gotta go help out the boiler guy.
Okay, so would you be considered like a watch engineer, or oiler, or facilities manager?
No, over there, the HVAC in my building, in my hospital, the HVAC guy is the all arounder. So you gotta do a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay.
Night shift, I will take. Late night till maybe 5:30, 5 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of people asking for late night jobs. So I gotta. There's a lot of man. It's amazing how many jobs there are out there right now. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. However, I am telling people this: in 2008, when the recession happened, a lot of retired people came back to work. So let's say if the stock market, hits the skids right now, and a lot of people's pensions go down, a lot of guys might, a lot of 70, 80-year-old guys might be getting back in the market. But yeah, we're gonna.
A bunch of those new companies,
Mhm.
like on an old package, they offer retirement, this and that, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
Now they hiring new guys just
Mhm.
on the 401k.
You know what I saw happen this year when a lot of companies started losing business, they started letting go a lot of senior guys and hiring just just anybody off the street. They're like, why am I paying two guys $50 an hour
Yeah.
to sit in a van? Yeah,
What I
yeah,
say is they let go of the senior guy and hire
yeah,
somebody younger for less.
yeah. Of course. Listen, man. I tell people you have to be strategic in your thinking in this business. You have to, and I'm not telling guys to always have their foot out the door, but you know, we're in this to make money. And you want to put yourself in a position to guarantee yourself the greatest amount of income for the longest period of time. So, if there's a better opportunity somewhere, put yourself in a position to be able to capitalize on it. Even with like the automation, like what we're doing right now, changing filters and cleaning coils, like a robot couldn't do that right now. But there are certain things in terms of system diagnosis and things like that. Somebody's working on some automation somewhere to do that so that less human beings will be required.
Hmm.
Like the AI thing, man. People really don't realize how many jobs that's going to kill. There are people in college right now who have zero job prospects by the time they graduate.
Tauris,
Yeah.
when he gets his license, give you my number.
Huh?
Give me my number.
He don't listen to me. I told him to do the test in our system so I can give him a letter to go to the fire department. Lorenzo. Well, of course you know Lorenzo. Lorenzo's been with me how many years? I had to force him. I had to say it is your job to go to the fire department to take the written test. Michael, I got to force you. How long you been waiting? It's been a year.
Who me?
Yeah, you.
No, 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 no. It's not even that. I gotta because I want to get the simulator part right now.
That's
I'm ready to go.
right.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. Taurus, I'm going to go take the test coming up this week. I got you. I got you. No, no, no. You got it. Accountability. You're right. I'm wrong.
Here's what people don't know. You can get hired just having passed the written test. Not everywhere, but some places will hire people. If you say, listen, I passed the written test, I got a scheduled date for the practical test, a lot of places will hire you.
I've been more concerned about my tab and I can't ask this man for no freaking 200-hour letter and I'm freaking
Don't
still
worry
in
about
the
it. Don't worry about
in the
that.
rears.
We'll
No,
figure
no, no. I get what you're saying, but Nah, ain't no excuses. If you telling me to
Listen,
jump in the water, if you telling me to jump in the water, I gotta jump in the water. That's it.
Dennis, am I just about the money, man? What you know
Nah,
about?
nah. I don't get that at all. Taurus, I don't get that at all. What you doing at all? But it's not you. It's more so me. It's like kind of like my thing. You get what I'm saying? Like my
Understand?
yeah. It's like I don't have as a man. I don't feel comfortable like coming to you and I got and I'm in the rears and I'm like yo and I'm asking for things and I'm not, that I didn't cover. And it's
All
like
right.
nah. No, I hear you, and I thank you. I respect that. If you tell me jump in the water to go and just get the ball rolling, I got to take that advice and just go ahead.
Yeah.
And I
Listen,
was happy to see Lorenzo pass his test. Bro is like he's super dedicated and he knows his shit. Like
yeah.
I done took pictures of Lorenzo's whole notebook. Like yo, bro, I need these notes. So I was happy to see my boy did his thing with that, man. It's all about like having good people knowing the industry, dedicated people.
This is bad, but it's not that. Trust me, that is not that bad. That's not that bad. It's bad, but we change. Is the date on the side? You don't see the date? 6/26. So that's 3 months. But so okay, guys. Here's the thing.
That's only 3 months.
It's only 3 months, but people look at this stuff the wrong way, right? Because I can show you some of these other ones that'll look brand new.
Yes, but they don't use they don't use the same mold on each.
Yes, that's the thing.
This one was never off.
That one is never off. Number one, because it's the stairwells, but then also you have to look at where it's at. Guys, look here. Guys, check this out. Look. You have the fresh air is literally right here. On this one, the fresh air is all the way up here. Now,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
the fresh air screen is dirty, but the filters that came out of here are not as dirty.
Not as dirty, yeah.
So listen, if it were up to me, would I be changing this filter right now?
The
So
one
I'm
in
going to
your
do a
hand?
comparison. Yeah. So I'm going to do a comparison.
Versus the other one? No.
Yes.
You'll be changing that one for sure.
So if it were up to me, I wouldn't be changing this filter today. But
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that because I get paid to do quarterly maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterly maintenance means I come in here and I change all the filters and clean all the coils quarterly. So it's not really up to me. But and this is the next level that we need to start thinking about. The amount of resources that get wasted because you're not doing things a certain way. You're just, doing things on a schedule. Instead of doing an evaluation to say, okay, this needs to be changed or that needs to be changed. I guarantee you, if we sprayed those coils with water every month, it would probably be less water than it would take to spray it every 3 months because it wouldn't build up, and stick inside the coils as much as it's doing right now. But they're not going to pay me to come here every month. They barely want to pay me to come here every 3 months. Listen, I lost a building. I lost a big building. I lost a building I did over $250,000 in work with last year.
Yeah.
They're looking at the bills and they're like, pretty sure we can find somebody cheaper to do this. Okay. All right. But then guess what? I get the call like, we may need you to come and do some stuff. Hey, if we cannot educate the people who are cutting the checks, then things are just going to continue the way that they are. And at a certain point, this is not, people really don't understand how interconnected everything is. All of this power. So these are gas lines right here. Whether it's electrical power, whether it's gas, whether it's oil, there's a price for everything.
Mm-hmm.
utility companies are increasing their capacity. So if you drive around in the city, you're going to see. I know in my area where my office is, there's a company called Halen, and they have a green van. So I think Halen is doing a lot of facilities for Con Edison, and everywhere in Queens, you see these Halen vans, and they're just tearing up the streets because they're replacing all the gas lines, but then they're also increasing the electrical bandwidth. And all of that has to do with the data centers because the data centers require so much power that, people were complaining that electrification, everybody putting in heat pumps and putting in home chargers for their electric vehicles is going to destroy the grid. But all of a sudden, we got enough capacity to have all these data centers that are one data center is using as much electricity as an entire town of people. Okay, fine. What people don't understand is Con Edison alone is spending over $2 billion to increase their capacity. But they're not going to charge that to the data centers. They're going to increase everybody's charges. So there are people who are looking at their electricity bills and seeing their bill going up, even though their usage is going down. At the same time, all of the gas prices, and even prior to this year, the gas prices were scheduled to increase like 13%. And I think it was like 11%. I think it's like a 13, 11% every year. This stuff is supposed to increase. So there are homeowners whose gas prices increase so much they switch their boilers back to oil. So you can imagine when you have big facilities that are using tons of energy. That was the thing that really bugged me about the Bronx thing because, like I said, one of the buildings that I deal with, they had a boiler explosion. Exact same thing, chimney exploded. When you see that where it just blew out some of the sheet metal. But when you see an explosion on a level where it's blowing off the side of a building, think about how much energy that is on a day like today. It is literally like what, 70 degrees or something out here right now?
Yeah.
So that's what caused that the side of that building to
Yeah.
it was a boiler explosion?
Oh no, the part of the reason why I started doing this today, I made a post about that with some inside information, and somebody responded online, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So okay, fine. If I don't know what I'm talking about, you come on here and you tell me the truth. So you guys know when I post up, I post it everywhere. And I posted it out there like, okay, fine. I'll be available every Sunday from 11 a.m. to whatever. And if you have a response to something I'm saying that you think is false, then okay, you can come on here and you can, set me straight. You notice nobody's nobody bothered to log in. Maybe a short notice. I don't know. But yeah.
Tauris, yeah. Do you remember the building that we went when the stag blew out? That's the
I
same
know,
building you're talking about?
because you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there. It's the same thing. It's a
Yeah,
chimney
that's
explosion.
That was crazy.
It's a chimney explosion.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out what happened there.
Yeah, that
Because
was suck, yeah. And that was like a small part compared to what happened in the Bronx.
It's tiny. That thing was like 200,000 BTU per hour. It's nothing. So think about how much energy it required to blow off the side of a building. Like there were people talking about their window unit air conditioners fell out of their windows. The whole building shook. And again, this is technically speaking, this is heating season, but it's still warm right now.
Yeah.
So you're using all that energy at a time when it really isn't required. That's what buildings do. There are 1 million buildings in New York City alone. 80 or 90% of the heating energy comes from either gas or oil. And it's all being wasted because the people don't know this. The Spanish flu was like 1915. And like you think COVID was bad. Like 15 million people died around the world during the Spanish flu, and there were a lot less people on Earth back then. So Con Edison, we were talking about Con Edison's theme earlier before, right? So the philosophy was, because there was no air conditioning, the philosophy was to sweat out viruses. That's why public housing heat is so much, because they would pump in the heat, and then everybody would have the windows open, and it would allow people to sweat out the virus around the time of the Spanish flu. I grew up in public housing. I grew up in Cypress Hills in Brooklyn, New York, and it would be so hot. You would feel drowsy. It would be hard for me after school even to go to sleep because, like, literally, you see like waves of heat coming off the radiators.
I know about that project. We call it
That
that project heat. Yeah,
So
I know.
imagine,
I'm from Brooklyn too.
yeah, yeah. So you have all of this energy that is being wasted, and then listen, I'm in the heat pump business. I have a heat pump manufacturing company. I believe in heat pumps. I love heat pumps, but it's not a magic bullet. If you have a building that is leaking like crazy, if you have a building where there's no insulation and all this stuff, and then the tenants are accustomed to 100-degree heat coming out of their radiator. And if you look at, I got a building. This big building. So Kevin, the big building, where
Yeah.
it's like, the heat isn't enough. If you look at the law, the law in New York City says the space needs to be maintained at 68 degrees. There is a company called Runwise, and Runwise is this energy kind of conservation company where they're remotely. Remember, I was talking about automation. They're remotely controlling the boiler operation so that these buildings can try to save money. So the super for the building was like, yeah, the radiators are about 80 degrees. The law says you have to have that space be 68 degrees. It does not say that you have to have it be 80, 90 degrees, but that's what people became accustomed to. So in the projects, if you think about it, you drive by any project building, what are you going to see? You're going to see window units in every apartment. Is everybody going to take the window units out in wintertime? No.
Mm.
So you literally have an open window all
You're
year long
losing
for
a
that
lot of
heat to
heat.
go out. And they're pumping that heat in. I spoke about, this is what I mean, a lot of things are connected. I spoke about the insurance companies for boilers specifically leaving New York. One of the reasons why they're leaving New York, number one, there were a lot of claims that insurance costs started to skyrocket. But another thing was this. There in New York City, you have to have annual boiler inspections. And there was some discrepancy as to when you do the boiler inspection. Are you doing the boiler inspection, because it says all the fixtures? Are you doing the boiler inspection on all the fixtures in the boiler room? Or are you doing inspections on all the fixtures throughout the building because it's the insurance company that is paying for the inspection? So if you have a big, a building with hundreds of units, what does that mean? That means you have to check every fixture, every valve, every whatever thermostatic dial, everything inside of every apartment. Now that gets very, very expensive. Where the insurance companies were like, well, we're not going to pay that. And you see pulling back. You see a lot of pulling back. And like Dennis remembers, we there was a senior building in 2019 where we fixed the boiler. And I mean, we retubed the entire boiler. And then when we retubed the entire boiler,
Was that the first job?
Yeah. So the church was like, okay, we're good. Cause I was trying to, me, I'm trying to set up a training, a real world training scenario. And that particular church, it was crazy. It was a church. They had an absorption chiller. They had a little cooling tower that I
Yeah, I
know was
remember that
illegal.
church.
It wasn't registered. Like all this crazy stuff. So I was like, look, I will bring my team in here. We'll do all this stuff because I can train people. Dude, I paid for half the boiler, for half the expense to fix the boiler. We fixed the boiler. They were like, nope, we're good. I was like, okay, fine. So then they started calling me after that. I blocked their number. I was like, well, when I was trying to help you, you didn't accept my help. I got other stuff to do. But we would go to apartments in that building, little 6-story building, nothing. And half the building is burning up, half the building is freezing. Because the disc inside the thermostatic valves is supposed to regulate the temperature going to the each radiator hadn't been changed in years. Like little stupid stuff. And because the buildings are always trying to compensate, what they'll do is they'll crank the heat up. Because that's what happened with the boiler, was all the tubes of the boiler were pitted. And you guys remember this from the oiler class, you get with the water. Water has particles inside it. So
Yeah.
particles will
Scaling you're
stick to
talking
the
about?
tubes. Yep, the particles will stick to the tube, and it has a different sensible heat than the water does. So whereas you need
You're not getting the
970
proper
BTU to
heat.
raise the temperature of the water,
Yeah.
like you need whatever 100 BTUs to raise the temperature of that little piece of rock that's sticking
I
to
think
that
it
pipe.
was 144 BTUs.
So that's I'm talking about for the metal. So
Okay.
whenever you get these little the minerals in the water, when it starts to stick to the pipe, the heat heats up that metal, which then burns these little holes inside of the pipe. And
Gotcha.
then you have the water leaking into the fire, and this is a whole big thing where the boiler, becomes a problem. So that's why you see a lot of boilers with all the tubes all capped. And there's a ratio with how many tubes you are allowed to cap on a boiler before you have to retube the entire boiler. So a lot of that happens is because these boilers are being run inefficiently and everybody's cranking up the temperature. Oh, this one is complaining over here. We can turn it up. We can turn it up. And it's because half the building would be too hot, half the building would be too cold, and they're not doing the right thing. And again, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to embarrass people, but because it was a senior living building, National Grid would constantly turn off their utilities, and they would have to call them during the middle of winter saying, oh, we have seniors here to turn it back on. And I was just like, the logic of this is so broken. It is so stupid. And I understand that money is money and you can't fix everything every day. But once you start to multiply that by 1 million buildings in New York City alone, 111 million buildings in the United States, how much energy? Everybody's talking about electrify everything. How about we just start operating things properly and conserving a little bit of the energy? Because people don't know, man, these data centers, and mind you, I got customers. My guy here works for a data center. I got customers who send me hundreds of students that are data centers. I'm not saying data centers are bad, right? But we all need to start thinking like we're all on the same team. One of my guys runs a building, I think it's like 77th Street, Manhattan. He sent me a message. He was like, one of his units wasn't working because in his neighborhood, Con Edison is literally dropping the voltage. So if you have a unit that's a 240 unit, and you're getting like 200 volts, guess what? Your amps go up. All of your equipment stops working properly.
I get that every summer. You know how many burnouts I get?
Dude, I made a post, I think it was 2 weeks ago. One of my guys did we do a lot of HVAC installations and installing heat pumps. So one building, he put in like 30 heat pumps. I'm talking big 8, 20-ton heat pumps, whatever. And I had to go there because we were putting in the heat pump that day, and we removed 20 boxes of replaced compressors because of burnouts. Crazy. And mind you, there are, for years, nobody put like a surge protection on a lot of this equipment. So the same way that you saw VFDs start to become a thing, now we gotta go back, put surge protectors on everything. Like, are you doing that in your building?
What?
Surge protectors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem with the VFDs for everything.
Yeah.
A lot of time, like we started putting the VFD for the pumps in the unit itself.
Yeah.
So if you have too much flow,
Yeah.
you have the same unit on the same.
You in backflow?
You have backflow and the unit's never going to be working properly.
Are these vertical pumps or horizontal pumps? Because you gotta be careful with the vertical pumps.
Horizontal pumps.
Horizontal pumps? Yeah. Really?
I'm going to take a picture of that. Those are Gunter,
The
right?
Gunther?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gunter on the top and Chinese climate works on the bottom.
Okay. This is for your chill water or your condenser water?
For the condenser water.
Condenser water?
Yeah.
You running towers now? You want towers year round?
Those are dry coolers.
Oh, you got dry coolers.
They remove the.
They remove the towers? What made them remove the towers? Legionnaires?
What fines?
Fines for what?
Fines because you need. You see, like if you check the news recently, there's a lot of openings for the fire department. So for what the fire
Inspections.
No, they're looking for lawyers.
Lawyers?
Lawyers
for the fire department?
Yes.
To start suing?
Yeah. No, because they have so many violations.
Yeah.
And all those big companies, they kill them with the paperwork.
Yeah.
So they cannot take the and they just let it go. No, but that's going to change.
Of course. People don't know this.
To see those fines.
Oh, they should. They should.
When they know that they have a workforce to win the courts.
People don't know this. When the pandemic happened, because so Dennis, you were in the class that we were doing online. When the pandemic happened, the fire department changed the rules for who needs a refrigeration license. So they switched it to one ton is 5 horsepower.
Yeah. You hear it?
It's running. Yeah, it's running a lot better. I love it. So you can come every Sunday? Yeah. So they switched the fire department.
I can come, but it's not going to be profitable for you.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. They were supposed to start going after all these buildings. A lot of buildings need engineers. A lot. Listen, technically speaking, Amir, you look around. This building needs an engineer.
Needs.
Yeah.
They get away.
Yeah.
Nobody bothers them.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So if you think about it, if you have a single system, right? That is more than 10 tons of cooling, that is 50 horsepower. By definition, you need an engineer. And that compressor just turned on. And you got probably hundreds of tons. Well, not.
No,
Maybe 100 tons.
How many you have?
You got 5.
No.
No, you got 5 units.
Tonnage.
Oh, no. No, we'll check. I get calls from so many buildings like, no, I get calls from a lot of engineers because their union reps are like, do we need an engineer here?
It's not even that. Even like the equipment I got in the street, you need an engineer there.
Huh?
The equipment that I got in the street by my job, you need an engineer there.
Yeah. So this unit alone, right? You see that 10? That's the tonnage. So this right here is a 10-ton system. So literally, this one system, you need an engineer. One, not even the big boys.
I have the same one like this.
Yeah.
Exactly same.
Yeah.
At the city attic.
Yeah. So look here. See that 42? 42 tons.
I said roughly around 180.
Yeah. Yes. But look, this is what I keep saying. See all that water? This water's going no place. So I'm pretty sure they probably have leaks downstairs somewhere. So we're gonna see how many people return from lunch.
I don't know.
Because I guarantee you,
lunch.
You gotta go? No, you can go.
I didn't something.
I'll go get something to eat.
Lunch. You're lucky you get an hour lunch. I only get 30 minutes.
Want something?
Huh?
Want some?
Whatever.
It's not me. I have a kid with me.
Of course.
So he didn't eat any breakfast.
Yeah, man. Like, think about it. What if there were a train derailment in this city? You know what kind of outrage there would be? But you had
we had one last year on 96th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually when a work train came in contact with the actual, I think, revenue train.
Oh my
God. That what happened was the communication between the operator of the work train and I believe the guy that's on the front of the train, because with the work trains, a lot of the motormen are from the rear. So they have a guy in the front with the headset. And I think there was some fall in communication and, you know, they didn't stop at the the circuit block that's going to separate them from merging onto that track, and he ran like a few signals, ended up coming in contact with that train.
Yeah, I can imagine what the blowback from that was.
Yeah, I mean,
but nobody died. Nobody died.
No,
Like you had
thank
7
God,
people
thank
die of
God.
Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, I know about so many illegal cooling towers. So many. And it's like, if you're not going to enforce the rules, what is the point? As a matter of fact, I know buildings that they're refusing to get their cooling towers registered because of the fact that if you're able to get away with it by not registering, why would you put yourself in the crosshairs to then be registered? And there's going to be fines associated with that, and then to have to try to get in compliance and do all the costs. It's crazy.
But people dying from stuff that needs to just be inspected is it's a terrible look.
Yeah, but it's to me, it's the inside component of it. Like, you know what, Dennis, maybe you have some opinion on this. Why aren't the unions making a bigger deal when their employees, their members their health are at risk?
Well, the unions don't really care until it becomes an issue where they're losing work to outside contractors and stuff like that. Like I've went and I approached my union numerous times because they hire people that basically are unqualified. Don't they got their license, but they don't even know how to install a filter the right way.
Wow.
So they say, "Oh, listen, don't say nothing. Just keep your mouth shut. Just as long as the guy got a job." Well, I don't care about the guy that got a job. When you take this responsibility, it's bigger than just having a job.
I think you said one guy destroyed a 1,000-ton chiller, right?
Yeah, a newly retooled chiller. It costs $250,000 to retube 2 train 1,000-ton chillers. And the guy did all type of pipe work, changed pumps, everything. Never flushed the system. Sent all the shavings and straight through the tubes.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And the same guy just exploded the second stage generator on the other chiller.
Oh my God.
And he still got a job?
And he's an outside guy.
But they still giving him a contract?
They still giving him contract, yes.
Damn.
That's somebody's boy right there.
Some people make it so obvious that under the table work is going on. Like in my building, they forbid the engineers from going on the roof where all the contractors are at.
That is crazy. That's a whole other thing. Man. That's a whole other thing, man. We don't even talk about is the envelope system that's taking place out here, and it's and even if it's not the envelope situation, it's the bidding situation. The bidding situation is the worst because the lowest bidder isn't always going to do the best job.
Like my building has the 3-bid rule, right? But it's always the same companies that get the job.
That is nuts. That is nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, man. It's like I said, man. I'm not trying to do this stuff to get people in trouble, but somebody on the city level, and I think something has to happen right now because there's a lot of federal money that's about to disappear. So maybe I reach out to the comptroller or something like that and just say, like, city money is really being wasted. And you know what the crazy thing about it? There's a website you guys probably know about called See Through New York. And anybody who works for New York, you can go on there and you can see how much that person made. Any city employee. And the reason why that exists is because years ago, I remember when I was maybe in my 20s, you started to see the stuff on the news where it would say, "Oh, this police officer made $200,000. This guy's a plumber. He made such and such amount of money," and they started to do that in a way to expose what they felt were people who were abusing the overtime system. And I'm not saying that does not happen, but I also do know that a lot of times the the guys working overtime. Well, I know this for a fact. It's always going to be cheaper to have the guys in-house working overtime than it is to be bringing an outside contractor. So,
Yeah.
for example, I know with NYCHA, who's one of my guys is a plumber. NYCHA, they pay double time for overtime. So a lot of
Yeah, I heard about that.
a lot of places will pay time and a half. They'll pay, so you have you call it straight time. You have your straight 40, and then your overtime would be time and a half, and then your weekend pay might be double time, and then your holiday pay might be double time, or time and a half times two, or something like that. But with NYCHA, I know that it is straight overtime is double time. So a couple of months ago, I think it was earlier this year, there were, I'm not sure, it was 13 plumbers that got busted who were kind of cheating the system and falsifying their overtime and stuff like that, where there was some, and I think there was a supervisor or something like that. It's like, why? You know, it kills me when people end up abusing the situation, then it makes everybody look bad, because people who just want to do honest work and get an honest day's pay, it makes it harder on those people. So as a company, like I have no problem telling people, Tauris Tech, we charge $200 per person per hour to do service work. So even if you have a guy making 60 an hour and you're paying them time and a half, that's $120. It's still cheaper because I gotta have vehicles and tools and insurance and all this different stuff. A friend of mine is actually one of my students. He's a plumber. He said that one of his guys who works upstate New York, the company he works for, they're charging $800 per person per hour. And people don't realize, people now, those guys are probably still making $60 an hour, but, and I think it's Rochester. If you have no other option, you have to pay. Because prior to the pandemic, I'm telling you, every price was half what it is right now prior to the pandemic. And now with everything that's going on, all the prices are about to double again. Because I get offers every week from somebody to buy Tauris Tech. Getting emails, texts, LinkedIn, everybody's hit me up. You want to sell? You want to sell? And there's investors called private equity, where you got rich people and they'll give money to the private equity investor and they'll go find companies to buy. And what's happening right now, they're buying up all the trades, all the HVAC, all the plumbing, all the electrical companies. Why?
Yeah,
because when they
of AI.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say because of AI. I mean, these are things that you really can't. Some of it you can replace, but there's a lot of things with skilled trades that you need boots on the ground.
Well, it's not just the boots on the ground. It's the fact that if you own all the companies, you can jack up the price.
Yeah.
So if you look at the big HVAC companies in New York are Donnelly, Penguin, PJ Mechanical, they all got bought out by private equity. And their prices are a heck of a lot higher than my prices. And I guarantee you, so you were talking about Dennis, like one company gets all the work.
Yep.
That's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see certain companies getting all the work because you're gonna need to step in some of these buildings right now. You need $10 million of insurance. And not everybody can afford that. Plus, you have to be able to ride it out where you can pay all your employees, pay for all the materials, do all the work, and then wait 6, 9, 12 months to get paid. Not everybody's going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, Dennis, they don't let, the workers see what the contractors are doing. What sense does that make?
Then when they don't work, they want to send the worker to go fix it.
Yeah. But the worker doesn't know what was done.
Yep.
They don't know. Dude, every time I step into a building and I see a pair of analog gauge manifolds, it makes me crazy. Because I'm like, there's no way you can accurately work on these systems nowadays with that. If you have specific pieces of equipment, so this equipment is Daikin. Just with rooftop units, you could have Carrier, Train, York, Aeon. Aeon is big. Aeon, you can have a LG, you can have a lot of different brands of rooftop units. I'm not even talking about splits. All these things have computers. If you don't have the specific computer for that piece of equipment, you can't diagnose that equipment.
Yep.
So if the organization, like they'll buy the equipment, but once it's installed, they won't even own the equipment or have the staff be trained on how to be able to diagnose. I'm not even talking about repairing, just to diagnose. It's really crazy.
Like at my job, they just put a lot of Aeon, and you need a controller just to reset the troubles, the errors.
Aeon is the worst, bro. Aeon is so bad. Depending, and here's another thing that's happening right now that a lot of people don't know about. You used to be able, let's say if you had Aeon, you used to be able to call Aeon and say, hey, I got this problem. Here's my serial number. Here's this and that. They may not be doing that anymore. And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but because I've dealt with Aeon. When you buy the equipment, there's a supplier who you bought the equipment from. Now they may want you to start going through the supplier. I think a lot of this has to do, like getting parts for any piece of equipment is really difficult these days. Because what what used to happen is the TV that we were looking at, you would get people to go, oh, the TV is broken. They take it out, they ship it back, they get a free one, and the TV is not broken. Oh, the VFD, the compressor, and because guys didn't know how to diagnose properly, you would get a lot of stuff being swapped out that wasn't broken, especially by the service companies. So now you got to create a case number. You got to go through all this stuff. They got to ship you the part. It could take months to get a part, and that was before the tariffs. People
I was
don't
about to
even
say the
know.
tariffs.
It's not just the tariffs, right?
No, it's an
Because,
added issue. Though.
well, no, the tariffs. So what the tariffs cause is this. I would say the de minimis thing is worse than the tariffs. Because if I need a TV is going to cost less than $800. However, that TV is not going to be made in the United States. A lot of countries stop shipping to the U.S. postal because of the de minimis rule being canceled. So now that means you may have to put something on a ship, air freight it, who knows? Like just getting a part right now. And I post this stuff online. You guys don't know. I post stuff online and I get, I'm not going to say hate, but just so much smack talk about anything I post online because I know thousands of people. I have thousands of students who don't just work in buildings, run all types of organizations. I run buildings. I know a lot of stuff. I work with the government. I work with everybody. A couple of months ago, I made a post about the new A2L refrigerant, the 454B, that there's a shortage. And I said, oh, yeah, I was in the store. They said it's $1,200. There were thousands of responses to that post with people calling me a liar. This was during the summer. And now you have literally everybody talking about, and I'm talking about like the agencies, the like the ACA and ASHRAE. Oh, don't put 410A in your 454 machines because you can't get the refrigerant. In New York City right now, a can of 454B will cost you $2,000 if you can get it. And guess what? Because they phased out all the 410A equipment, if you're putting in a new piece of equipment right now, and it's the next step people don't know about. If you're putting in a new piece of equipment, it's going to be either R32 or R454B. And if you're putting in large equipment, the people installing the equipment need to have the New York City refrigeration license. Like there's so much that people don't know. And I'm just waiting to see like an A2L system blow up on somebody's building, and then what's going to be the ramifications behind that. Like if they just put in those Aeon units are probably 450, 4B. So if they got a refrigerant leak, it's $2,000 per can.
Aeons they put in
How much?
a few years, but
No, go ahead, Dennis.
the Aeons they put in my job been for a few years, but
Okay, so they
so
ordered them years ago then.
yeah, but they've been installed improperly, so I must have changed the compressors on them
It's
about 20.
crazy. It's crazy. And the compressors on the Aeons are all the digital scrolls. And uh, I'm not gonna say I don't like Aeon, but Aeons are a pain, man.
The only thing I really like about them is their wiring diagram. Their schematics
Yes.
are to read.
Yeah.
How much 454B is coming in those cans? That's
20 pounds?
decent price.
20 pounds?
How much? 40 pounds?
20 pounds.
Oh, 20.
So years ago, if you would buy a can of refrigerant, the can of refrigerant would be 30 pounds, then it was 25 pounds, and now it's 20 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the price is going up.
That I think you went to that building in the Bronx, that school in the Bronx. Michael, did I take you to that school in the Bronx one time?
Nah.
Okay. So there's a school in the Bronx that they have a bunch of heat pumps. I think I have to install some more heat pumps. They have 40, they have, let's call it 32 heat pumps. So 32 outside units and 211 indoor units. So 32 condensers outside, 211 indoor units, wall mounts, cassettes, slim ducts, whatever. They got 49,000 feet of refrigerant on it. They have over 1,000 pounds. I think it's 1,000 pounds of extra refrigerant. Not the refrigerant that came in the machine, 1,000 pounds of extra refrigerant, which means that if you were installing that system today, it would cost a minimum of $200,000 of extra refrigerant if that were 454B.
Wow.
And the reason why it's an issue is, you know, if you install stuff right, it should not leak, but things happen. So in a lot of buildings, man, you got leaks all the time. And because things are inside walls and ceilings and you can't find the things, then, you know, I don't do this. If I'm going to put refrigerant in a machine, I'm going to recover, I'm going to pressure test it, vacuum, find the leak, try and fix the leak. But I mean, you just cost of replacement nowadays. Cost of replacement is going to be a fortune with trying to. That's why I was saying with the new A2L systems, if it's a big system, they want you to have the refrigeration license. Everybody going?
Huh?
Everybody's going? Thank you, man. What time is it? 1 o'clock? All the work studiers disappeared? Such is life. Such is life. But yeah, the boiler thing, let me see, October 5th. I definitely want to get it started pretty soon, but I want to make sure that we have our we have certain things in place. Because I don't want to happen with this boiler class what happened with the oiler class. I don't think people realize like I mean, this is a competition. This is a competition, and a lot of people think they're helping their friends and buddies out. You know, it doesn't. If your friends and buddies aren't on the same team as you, then you know you're helping them out, and they're sharing what you share with them with everybody else, and now they're getting a job, but you get the job.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, yep, every Sunday, 11 a.m. I think is a good time for now. I'm gonna try to see if I can get more people who make some financial decisions to show up next week because I really want to know what steps we can get people to start taking. Because if I really wanted to, I could start dropping some names that would embarrass the heck out of people. I don't want to do that out the gate. But something needs to be done. Something really, really needs to be done. So if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. Is it good?
No, we good.
All right, guys. So Kevin, are you doing the practical class today?
Yeah, I'm doing it every day.
I
I
love
think I gotta test Melvin to see. Supposedly we were gonna get together today on Zoom.
So Michael he has to do the written test, but he said he was nervous because he wanted to get ready for the practical. So Michael,
Yeah, I think you need both of them. Yeah, you gotta like you should be ready on both. Actually, not conscious because that's one mistake that I made. I was so conscious on the reading, then the practical.
that you know,
I made that mistake. So when on the practical, they asked me some questions. Now I'm going back to the first class to
it's
see
in
video
there. It's in
because
there.
it was like a lot of video that I long forgot. That
Yes.
like, damn, now even now I'm watching like the steam cycle, the steam turbine console
Yes.
and component
Yes.
from the first refrigeration
It's
reading part.
the reason we stopped doing the practical only was because we would get people who would come from these schools who these schools would never teach any of this stuff. I'm like, guys, when you start with us, study both. Study the written, study the practical, even if you don't know anything. Because ultimately, in our system, I want somebody to be able to take the written one week, take the practical next week. But because you kind of move on, you forget stuff.
Yeah,
You
it's true.
forget that you actually, if you watch the videos, you actually heard me talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, you were so the thing with me is that I was doing the oil engineer plus the first refrigerator and the reading part.
Yeah.
So I was doing the reading part, the oil engineer, and the practical all together. So I said, you know what? Let me forget about the practical until I get to that, and that's when I started making mistakes. It was a lot of things that I forgot.
Yes.
But now I'm just watching both of the classes now
I
and
love it.
practice it every day.
I love it. Even like in our practical section, we have the videos from the old practical, the one with the flash with the pictures of the machines. And people say to me, well, it doesn't look like the new thing. Forget about that. People have got to stop trying to memorize their way through tests. You want to try to understand some of this stuff because if you see a question you never saw before, how are you going to adapt if you don't have any foundation? You have to know, oh, I know this about hot wells. I know this about this. I know, I've seen this before. And then, like, you want to eventually get a job, right? If you want a job, you
Yeah,
gotta know something.
yeah, they might gonna ask you a couple of questions about that. Well,
Listen,
they probably should ask you.
with the so like I said, we got to do the thing with the boiler class, both for the plant tender tests, for the high pressure boiler test, and for the I think it's the Port Authority test, because it's all the same stuff. It might be a couple of different questions here and there, but it's all the same stuff. I want anybody who's studying with us to think past the test. I'm not even thinking about the test. The test is just like a milestone. I'm trying to get a job. What am I going to? Well, Amir, they still got the Verizon test, right? Is it still the online test?
No,
No? So it's a practical test with Verizon?
you have to qualify first.
You got to qualify.
You have to qualify, do the test, and then you have at least like a 50 questions of the interviews.
50 questions on it?
Yeah. Worse than FDN one.
Western. Of course it is.
No, because they have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Tag out.
Yeah.
For different companies.
Yeah.
It's not the same procedure.
It's not the same procedure with lockout
It's
tag?
pretty much the same procedure, but different terminology and different, like, for example, lockout tagout, they have a test on the end that says, like, after you disconnect everything, you have to re-energize, and you have that question, and you have to put it in.
This is multiple choice or it's
No.
it's a simulator?
Sometimes they give you like 10 questions, and you have to like when I can buy, you have to put them in order.
It's on a computer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on a computer, so it's like a mixed match.
But on an interview, they have a computer in front of them. So you sit across.
Yeah.
And they ask.
They actually.
And repeat whatever they say.
Oh, really? So they'll tell you a procedure.
There is no way. Maybe all of those guys in the licenses maybe would be 10% to pass.
I love it. This is where it's going, guys. This is where it's going, guys. You got to know stuff. You have to know stuff. So, wow.
And, give them one advice.
Yeah.
But they're getting ready for the practical to study by themselves.
Okay.
If they go in a group, they go for months and months and months. Same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
And then you get with one mess up guy.
Yeah. The best guy mess up everybody else.
You take his wrong answers in your head.
Yeah.
And you answering his wrong answers the day you take the exam. So couple days, be by yourself.
Well, guys, he's saying if you're doing a practical to practice by yourself, that's why we have all these versions of the apps. It's people think, oh, I got to go home. I got to sit at a computer. I got to get comfortable and put my feet up. Like, no, if you got 5 minutes to pull up the Android app, that's what it's there for. I don't think people really understand, because if all I wanted to do was, people don't get this. People will look at it like the Turner School simulator and go, oh, it looks like the fire department. Good for them. You got to have a computer to use it. You have to spend until you pass that test, you got to spend every second you can engaging with the material to understand every single part, whether they ask it to you or not. If they happen to ask, great. But if all you do is, oh, I get home, I get comfortable, no, you have to think about nothing but that simulator until you pass that test. That's why we have all these versions of the app. Even if you're on there just looking at names, it doesn't matter.
I think that's the best thing you have with your program, because you could do this on the go wherever you're at, and you get more time in front of that simulator, whether you're home, on the mobile. That's what kind of separates. That gives you the edge.
Well, that's why now we have dude, we track everything now. We track everything because I want to be able to see what people are doing. I want to be able to see how people are doing. I want to be able to say, because listen, I am not perfect. There's mistakes in everything in our system. But if I can't verify what the mistake is, if I can't see that right there, I can see every time. See that? That's Kevin. All day.
Yeah.
All day long. All day long.
I'll be walking around listening to my headphones, just working in the building.
So if Kevin calls me and Kevin is like, Tauris, I don't understand something, I can literally go here and he can say, oh, I don't understand something. And I don't even have to ask him what he doesn't understand. See that? I can see if there's a question he was doing that it took him more than one time to try to answer. And I can say, oh, you can find this over here. Everything that we do is about trying to help people get a job and not pass tests, get a job. So like right here, okay, delta T, delta P for the centrifugal chiller, right? All right, so here's the thing. You see that? Delta P for the centrifugal chiller, delta P for the centrifugal chiller. It is entirely possible that that's a mistake in the system. Metrics. Delta P chiller to chiller. Chiller to condenser water delta P. Let's see. Condenser water supply, condenser. Oh! Guys, you see this? You see that? Do you see what's wrong?
Hold on, let me that was at a stop sign. Let me see.
Come here. Come and tell me what's wrong. Hamidi, tell me what's wrong.
Can't really see the words.
Kevin got this wrong multiple times, which he should not. It's a glitch in it. It's a typo. Tell me what the typo is. Tell me.
Can't really make out the words.
Hold on a second.
You find the right person to ask. You know, the English is my second.
Tell me what's the problem.
Okay.
What was the
It's,
question?
That's the question right there.
PSI equation to
What's the problem? This is a typo. This is my fault. So Kevin was trying to answer this in the system. This is my fault.
Chiller one.
No. Go on.
Oh
Hold
yeah,
on.
that it gave me wrong a couple of times. So I was like, you know, I probably be a glitch.
But no, but that's what I'm saying, guys. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to help people, right?
Yeah.
But there can always be a problem. What is the problem here?
I don't understand. He's asking about the chiller one and what is
He's
this?
asking
Like
about chiller two.
Chiller two, and you have
What
chiller
the
one.
value? Yes. So it was an impossible question for him to answer. That's the problem.
Because it got to be delta P, and then one is asking for.
No. You have chiller two, and you have to when you
chiller
click,
one and chiller
it goes
two.
on.
Yes.
Chiller one. So those are totally different systems.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's the
usually
problem.
when I found a problem like that, you're trying to like, you know what, I'm about to tell Tori, then he fix it. I just continue.
Yes. But that's yes. Good.
Don't let this confuse you, because on a different job interviews, you're gonna have a bunch of different questions. Like for example, at what job interview I had a question like, you don't have a cooling in a building, and you go by the unit and you see by the suction line, you see on the floor oil drips. It's like question is like, how you gonna troubleshoot the unit and what is your issue?
Oh, how many? Can you open the door for Brian?
So anybody want to get involved?
Yeah, you see this oil drips.
Oil drips on the floor by the suction line connection. What is the issue? Why we don't have the cooling? What the oil drips is telling us?
What do you think, guys?
Isn't there something something wrong with that accumulator?
No, it's telling you that the connection, as soon as you have the bad connection, you have the oil drip. So you have a leak of freon.
Yeah.
So low pressure cutoff disconnected and the compressor is not running. So the next question, after I answered that, he asked me, how you gonna confirm your theory with the multimeter?
What is that?
Said like, if you get a chance to confirm with the multimeter, you're lucky. Because compressor not supposed to be running. If you put on a leg, you're supposed to have like a 000 because he's not pulling any amperage.
Well, it
But
depends.
if he's low,
Yeah.
if he's low
Yeah.
and still running, you're gonna have lower than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, low amps.
But if he's running, if he's not running,
The safeties might not be working.
a safety one might be, because if the low suction cutoff works,
Yes.
he's gonna shut
Shut
off.
it up.
So that was my answer. You are lucky if you can confirm it with the multimeter.
Okay. They don't want to hear that. They just want to hear low pressure, low amps.
No,
So-
but I gave him like scenario 1 and 2 and 3, and
All right,
after
all right,
that,
man. But that's, you have to know. You're not, just giving them a straight out of the book answer. That's what we want. So again, so in the system, you guys just showed you how easy it is for me to fix the issues, but I can't fix the issues if I don't know that they exist.
sometimes you have like a hiring manager. They have like a 2, 3 of them.
Yeah.
So they go against each other. So
Yeah.
he check you. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You came. Is that from your hat, or you just get prepared for the question?
Well, that's another thing. That's where, listen, a lot of people, if all they do is memorize questions and answers, they're going to have a hard time on these interviews. That's not what we want. We want people to get the jobs. Good.
Yeah, usually in the interview they ask the questions. See, me, I'm a superintendent. They ask me questions about sprinklers, standpipe, building, drywall, floor, stuff like that. Now that I'm trying to transition to become like engineer or like a service technician for hospital stuff like that, they might gonna ask me question about stuff like that, like troubleshoot question.
Most common question on any job interview, wherever you go, it's going to be, what is the state? What is the state of the refrigerant in a evaporator? Or what is the state of the refrigerant
Check to see, make
after TXV valve?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think they did. Huh? I don't think they did it. Yeah. And then we can pack this stuff up. So yeah, see, we're down to one guy. We're down to one guy.
Everybody left already?
Everybody, you know how this thing goes, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't understand. Good luck in the job.
Yeah, I'll be telling you, trying to get the most you can. Every day I go, I try to leave. Yesterday, my first time actually moving a pump. I always change belt. If the belt too loose, get a shorter belt. I didn't know that you got it like calibrated.
Yeah, you gotta shim it. Yeah.
Yeah, usually when I change the belt here, if the belt too loose, I just get a shorter belt and forget about it. Like, well, it worked. It's full in the right amperes. Well, see, the other guy that was there yesterday, he told me just move the pump a little back. That's what me and Ryan was moving them. We move it at least half-inch back, and then it was good. I touched it. I said, "You see, now it's good. It have tension." Then when he turned it on, you start explaining on that they had an issue with the pump from the beginning.
Oh no, it was shutting the unit down. The unit was not that unit right there.
Yeah.
Would not run at all because the VFD. This is all this stuff. Even with like the boilers, like you can ask Dennis. People think boilers are just like the combustion element. It's not. It's also the controls. It's everything that has to be associated with that. So with this air handler, the belt was loose. The belt is loose. The amps on the VFD is low. So there's a little low amp protector for the VFD where it shuts it off. It shut that off. The whole unit was shut down. So the building would not get cooling or heating, literally because that belt was too loose.
Yeah, because like for the inside boxes on any building, VFD, they have their own cooling fan in a box. For outside units, they get cooled by the airflow
Air circulating across
in a unit. So if you don't have because of the fan, drive shaft, whatever, you don't have the proper airflow, he goes on an overheat and he shuts down.
Yeah. Listen, that explosion in the Bronx was definitely because of either a damper or a fan for the combustion air.
Or somebody made good money on insurance.
No,
it could be. It could be. Insurance scam, still six.
They find the stupid watch engineers. He doesn't care that he's going to put him in jail or call the fire department to cut his license on the spot. The landlord makes money out on him.
There's no watch engineer there. There's a plant tender.
Usually, now, like on a job sites, believe me, Tauris, sometimes you have to be no speaking English.
Yeah.
You know too much. You're not good for business.
Yeah, but if you don't know anything, then your boiler explodes.
That's 100% too.
Listen, you don't have to work there. This is why I tell people. You make sure your skills are sharp so you can find another job someplace.
I work with Benny, Maestro. Yeah. Maestro is a top mechanic in the city.
Yep.
And when I had a problem with one of my buildings, it was a big project. So I said, like, you're going to bring the portable container, you're going to rent it, or you're going to bring Benny here.
Maestro started his own thing?
No, Maestro works for the big company.
Oh, he left Farouk?
So he left him 2 weeks after I left.
Really?
We left pretty much at the same time.
Okay.
So they bring him. I was like, I'm not gonna operate it because they have the sniffers. They have bunch of stuff bad.
Yeah.
But if you have like on purpose in some buildings, they disconnect the gas sniffers. Nobody's mentioning that in a boiler. So
Oh
everybody.
no, I'm going to be mentioning it. This is
So if you have the bad sniffers in a building,
yeah,
you don't have to have a bad boiler itself, because if the gas line leaks before the boiler,
yes,
and as soon as you have the igniter, he ignites with the boiler and everything inside.
yeah.
There's a multiple cases scenario what may happen wrong.
Yeah.
But definitely insurance fraud.
99%
99% insurance fraud, because that has to be like big neglect.
No. What have I been saying, guys? The insurance companies are leaving New York. Think about this. That was no service company. That was a building worker.
Yeah, they probably had somebody else walking around bleeding the boiler once in the blue and forget
No,
about.
somebody tried to start it up. Mordoff was telling me that. Somebody tried to start up that boiler.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. That was literally the first day of heat season.
But
they tried to start that thing.
Tauris,
Yeah.
like if the sniffers in the basement are working properly,
I don't think it was gas though. It wasn't a gas leak.
that big explosion for all that side of the building to collapse has to be gas.
No, it wasn't. No, but it wasn't a gas leak. So from what I understand, you have to have the air dampers to allow the fan to come on and then purge the combustion chamber of the gas that's in it, right? The dampers weren't working and they jumped it out.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
So then you have a buildup of gas.
Yeah. That's
Boom.
called
Yeah.
that's called like a poof back. That's what they call it, right? A poof back. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Who the hell jumped out the dampers and why?
Well, from what I understand, the supervisors told them to start it up regardless because it was broken.
But if you have a
Because there's an interlock. Remember you were talking about the lockout tagout? There's an interlock. That was the issue we had with that unit right there.
Tauris,
Yes.
he has the proper working sniffers. He
I
will cut
I
the main gas.
Hey, you're not listening to me. I understand what you're saying. They jumped it out. They jumped out. Guys, you think I'm exaggerating here? Hang on a second.
No, I get you. I'm just saying.
No, I'm telling you, like people, this is not like a crazy conspiracy. There's a bunch of buildings. Kevin will tell you, we went to a building that had the same boiler explosion.
Yeah, but that was like that was nothing compared to that thing.
90.
Yeah, it was something like it would probably would have get bad. The boiler was probably bigger.
Yes.
And that was the boiler for the hot water only, right? Yeah,
Yes.
he said for the hot water.
Yes.
It was a small boiler, but both of the pipe kind of exploded. The exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
I usually see like a little crack and stuff like that, but that thing blew the whole piece out, like a big chunk on it.
Yeah. No, this is why I tell people, you think this stuff can't happen, and we literally just walked into a building where the same exact thing happened.
Tauris, doesn't make a sense. Like if the exhaust fan.
Not the exhaust.
No, but that building, that size,
yes,
that boiler has to have exhaust fan on a chimney.
That is the chimney. It is the chimney that exploded.
The chimney has to have exhaust fan on that size and on that height of the building.
No, I don't believe so. I think that was because the issue, the building we worked with where it had the boiler explosion. We checked. Like we drilled a hole in the chimney to confirm that there was nothing restricting. The chimney on the side of that building was as big as this water tank.
That's a big neglect because if he did his landlord, or if he did his PF, he needs to do like a combustion test every year.
Yeah. How much do you want to bet? Guys, we will go. I will find the address of that building, and we'll go and we'll see if there's some violations right now on that particular building.
See on the bricks, there is nothing left.
No, you can see if there's violations on that building.
Yeah, I think you could go online. Some place online you could check other violations they have in the building.
You can always go online.
Yeah, that building probably have 1,000 violations, but since they work
Let's
for the
see.
city, they don't pay too much
Believe
money.
me, you think every fire inspector doing his job, he doesn't take a kickback or something?
They
Let's see
probably
how
do, but none of them gonna risk it like that. That's a big
If
chance.
it's a housing building, they're not going to care about those
They hire a
inspections.
bunch of the new guys that they're not even trained. I
Look at
had
this. Investigators are looking into whether a safety system failure in the boiler of a Bronx public housing building allowed gas to build up inside the boiler chamber and travel up a 20-story chimney. A breakdown that triggered a massive explosion when a technician flipped the switch to turn it on.
Dang.
How can that happen?
I mean that boiler party was having issues for a while.
Yes.
or somebody
205
somebody
They
jumped
jumped it. I told you they jumped it.
gas valve controls.
Okay, this is the DOB now, right? All right, let's see here. DOB now, Borough, Bronx, address 207 Alexander Ave. Shut it off. Ryan, shut it off, please. Go to the other side and turn the power off, please. This thing is slow.
What do you want to do with this one?
I don't think they did the filters in that one. All of a sudden they can't load it up. Let's see. Ah, 205.
How many
Amir. Oh God, how many? Go and look. So this is the building that just had the boiler explosion, right? Partial stop work order exists on this property. Partial vacate exists on this property.
God
Let's
dang.
see here. DOB violations. Let's see. Discharge. 97, 2005. DOB mobile violation.
They don't even have lawyers to fight them.
Look at it. Active. Let's see what these violations. All plumbing work stopped immediately. 625, all plumbing work stopped immediately. That's an open violation. Come on. Yeah, it's slow here. But this is what I'm saying. You can get information on all this stuff. Yeah, but so if that says that the plumbing work stopped in June or July, do they consider the boiler part of the plumbing? Because a lot of buildings do.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So there was no work done on the boiler because there was a stop work order? This is precisely what I'm talking about. Yeah, man.
How many times you heard that the fire inspector put the lookout tagout on some equipment?
Not many. Never.
They supposed to do that or not?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, all right, Tauris, I gotta go back to work now.
All right, man.
All right, see you guys later. Let's see this Saturday. I'm probably not gonna come in. I'm
No,
not
don't
sure.
worry about it. What time are you doing the practical today?
I gotta test Melvin. He said probably after 4, after 5. But usually, if we don't join together, I just be doing it on my own thing.
Okay,
I'll be
so
practicing.
Michael, you have the link to join the Zoom thing when they do the practical?
Which practical?
They practice the practical.
Yeah,
You know,
we practice the
Oh, I
practical.
didn't know that. I didn't know about that.
You're not in the QO1 group?
No, I didn't know that.
You should be in the QO1 group.
What is it? Is it on WhatsApp?
Hang on a second. Yeah, you're not in the QO1 group?
No.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no. I'm still in the oil exam group. It says.
Okay, I just sent you a link.
All right, there it is. I pressed OK. So you said there was a link to watch the guys do the practice?
Yes.
Yeah, I just sent a text to everybody there. Hopefully Melbourne can respond.
Okay. I don't see the link because I just joined the group. So
Yeah, I think you gotta send him the link, Tori, for you could join in. Or
I'll
probably
send it.
Mel. Yeah. But all right, guys, have a good one, man. See you guys later.
All right, guys.
All right.
I think my Wi-Fi is bad out here, so I'm gonna find out dig some more dirt on this thing, and figure out what happened. So I'll post that later.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. So like I said, yeah. Oh no, Emir, show them how to do that. All right, guys. So like I said, I'm gonna be doing this one every Sunday, and then we'll figure out during the week what other stuff we're doing.
All right, cool.
All right, guys.
Okay, cool. All right, later.